Hi, it's Optimus 24 again. I know people like saying Transformers is dying, but I just want to show off just some of the characters from Transformers which I think are cool. I know this isn't like official artworks of them because I don't know how copyright or any of that malarkey works. But look, you've got Hoist, just a few different. I've done quite a few drawings of Hoist, as you will see. There are many different versions of a lot of characters, but just you could have Hoist is enough stuff. Just on him alone, you could very easily make a whole series on him. I believe in. Give me a second. I'm just grabbing the manga. I believe in this Transformers annual from 1985, which I believe was recently collected in one of the Marvel UK thingies. But this Marvel UK Transformers annual has a story which involves Hoist and Jazz, who I've also drawn on this page, which very much shows off just what makes the character so cool. You get to see, I think it's Jazz gets amnesia due to whatever. Jazz loses his memories because of the Constructicons, like, after he's just had to save Hoist from being trapped. And Hoist has to go out of his way to rescue Jazz. An official drawing of Jazz there, just... But it's like, it's such a fun story, yet it's one that's been forgotten to time. The old books, I have the 1986 Transformers annual, I have Target 2009, I think. Target 2009? Yeah. But it's Target 2009 or 2006. Target 2006. In the Hatchet collection, I have the complete manga. I have most of the Energon universe. Up to... Yeah, I have Void Rivals, first two of them, Duke, Cobra Commander, Scarlet, first three Transformers. But honestly, I find it's really cool to look through the franchise because you've got a movie G1 kind of merge design here that I've drawn. These are just me drawing the characters. Some of the characters appear multiple times, mind you. But you've got Cliff Jumper, two different designs I've drawn of Cliff Jumper there. That one's more so based on the movies, but yeah. You get Hoists. You could do like playing cards or stuff like that for characters. You've got Ironhide, Swerve, both amazing characters. I think G1 Ironhide, kind of like with the red, but mix it with the black of the movie Ironhide, makes the best Ironhide design. And even then, I'm not the biggest Ironhide fan. I'll leave that for others. But you've got Swerve, all of his amazing story potential with his whatever he does with his love for bars or whatever. I don't fully understand it. I do not have a lot of stuff with Swerve. I think I have him briefly in the manga. But you've got RC, a very iconic character. Just ignore the frog. I just wanted to draw a frog. I couldn't be bothered to draw a unicorn, so I just drew him as a frog. Ignore that. We got Cliff Jumper again. Once again, he's an amazing character. There's so much potential with him. You can see that currently with the Energon universe and what they're doing with him now. You've got Silver Streak. He's not as big of a character. He's really only had one toy, but he's out there as a character who's open for interpretation, open for use. You can use him in whatever wild way you want. I could see him being like a riot enforcer, like early days of the war. He's like a policeman or something, like a riot policeman. He has like a shield, and he has to protect against early Decepticon attacks. And he's one of the early warriors to join the Autobots. Something like that. He easily could be done for his character. You've got Crosscut, one of the lesser used medics. You normally have First Aid or Ambulon or Medex or Ratchet or Red Alert. But Crosscut's there as well. There are two Crosscuts, to be fair. This is the second Crosscut. The first one was Decepticon. More on him later. Chrome Dome. Like, this character is awesome. If you have not read the Transformers manga, you should. Chrome Dome is really cool in that. And from what little he has in the Transformers 1986 annual, he is really cool in that as well. Honestly, I just think Chrome Dome is just cool across the board. I don't really remember much to do with him, bar the fact that whenever I read something involving him, I just think he's the coolest. I don't know why. We have Iron Treads, a character who is the pure definition of not utilised. He's one of the microbots, mini-bots. He's one of the tiny Autobots from G1, the later half of the Generation 1. And he's just a cool, truck. He's a cool design. He's open for use, out there in the franchise. He's such a fun character. You have Corkscrew, one of 3, I'm going to say, minor bots. Corkscrew, Zeta, and one other that I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's a character who's barely utilised, yet fully could be utilised as an amazing character. He is, by definition, really cool. I've got rid of his mask from my drawing of him here because, well, I wanted to make the 3 of them stand out for this drawing set I've done. But still, you can change up character designs around and all that. It's just so useful. You've got Shredhead. I know he's relatively new and all that, but he is really cool. He is open out there to have so many fun stories down the line. You just have to wait. You have to give Transformers time to get out of the fall behind after the movies have ended, and into whatever next generation it has. It always reinvents. Think of Armada. I have the DVD box set of it somewhere. I might look for that later and show the box later. But think of what it did in the early 2000s. You've got Blades here, an absolutely amazing character. I think he briefly cameos in Transformers Volume 3 of Daniel and Johnson's run. But he's an amazing character. He's so cool. Barely used. You've got Topspin. And I'm not showing every character. I don't actually know if he's an actual character. But all the characters here, I found something that said they were actual characters. But I don't know for certain. I'm not certain on Nomad. He might not be an actual Transformers character. But I think he might have been. But I'm going to skip over him on the odd chance he is an actual character. But Topspin, I know he's a character. He's absolutely phenomenal in Target 2006. He's amongst the original wreckers. This is an iconic character who's mostly left to the wayside. Under the way of, he's just not big enough of a character, blah, blah, blah. He's amazing. He's amazing in this. He's amazing in Transformers Stormbringer. I've got the manga version of it, so it's near impossible to read, but I'm pretty sure he's in that, and if I'm not mistaken, he's pretty good in that. But he's great in Target 2006. Topspin, an amazing character. I can't help but randomly redesign him, heavily redesign him every now and then. You have Hotspot. He leads the Protectobots. He's got an amazing team. You got Streetwise and Rook. Just even more Protectobots. The Protectobots in general, I feel are underutilized combiner. I would love to see just a whole series on the Protectobots. I could see them taking the role of the Rescue Bots and getting a whole TV series like that, aimed at younger kids, of helping people out. You've got Decepticons like Roadblock. I'm pretty sure I had a G1 toy. A character who could very easily be this powerful, threatening Decepticon. Yeah, he got one toy. I don't think he's appeared since the G1 toy. You got characters like Slammer. He looks cool. I can't actually tell you much on Slammer. The next one I think is next one I don't know his actual character, so I think he's a real character. But you've got characters like Whackbread and Hightower, characters who are extremely cool. Whether or not they're the most used characters, I don't know. I'm relatively new to Transformers for the most part. I watched some of the Armada DVDs when I was younger, but it was Delta Trion and all his stuff that recently got me back into Transformers. And honestly, characters like Wheeljack, a character I don't think I'd ever actually heard of. I knew the name from stuff I had heard about Armada before, but I had no clue who this was going into going into watching G1 online and all that stuff. And now I realise he's one of the coolest characters ever. I can't see why people dislike him. You've got Warpath. I'm a sucker for the wave 2 of the microbots, mini-bots. The Warpath, Power Glide, Sea Spray, Beachcomber, Cosmos. That group. I'm an absolute sucker for them, and I absolutely love them. They're some of my favourite characters. Yet you don't see too much of them. Like, they're more common than some characters, but they're still relatively left to the wayside. Warpath, I think, is one of the bigger members of that group. But Sea Spray and Cosmos, those two are just completely forgotten 90% of the time. And I don't think Power Glide's done anything really relevant since the High Moon Studio games, where I think Power Glide was in the... Yeah, I think it was Air Raid, Jetfire, and Power Glide were a trio in the High Moon Studio games, if I remember what I've seen of that correctly. If I've got Power Glide muddled up with that, if I'm wrong on that, Power Glide's last major thing would have been potentially 1980s with his G1 thing where he had a human fall in love with him. But still, amazing characters. Perceptor, like an amazing character who shares a similar role to Wheeljack. You've got characters like Clench. I believe he was Europe exclusive. I don't know exactly where. But look at this Ferning character. I could fully see him being like Tarn or something, being used as the main villain for something. But no, once again, left the wayside. More Protector bots, First Aid and Groove. Absolutely amazing. Ambulon, just look at some of the IDW stuff. From what I've seen on the IDW stuff, he is absolutely phenomenal. Like, fully one of the coolest characters out there. Really interesting. Sea Spray, like I brought up earlier, a character often overlooked, I think could be one of the coolest characters out there. Just give him the right storyline. Make an Ocean like heavily focused storyline, and give him a major role. He could be phenomenal. He's got a great. I think it's like one issue where there's like an island-based issue. He has a fairly good story in that for the manga. I know it's very basic and there's not a lot of detail on it, but he's really cool in that. Blur. I personally am not a big Blur fan, but I love his design. I just don't like how he speaks. But Blur, he's an amazing character. One of the more utilised, but still. Oiler. He's a fun concept, a character who barely takes oil. And still somehow leads a team. He is one of the most he's out there as fun concept. Super easy to play around with. Guzzle, he's one of like a trio. Guzzle, Sizzle, and Fizzle, I think it is. But an amazing trio. Warmonger, he was an Autobot spy in the Decepticons from G1, I believe. Absolutely phenomenal. One of my favourite characters. He was in Marvel UK. Absolutely phenomenal. Barely used. Another Protector bot, like the Protector bot site, I absolutely love. Borbit, that was the third corkscrew. I really don't have much to say about the corkscrews, but they're really cool. Landfill. Like, imagine an Optimus Prime has gone missing, and all of a sudden, this ruined Autobot who has no memory arrives, who's also a truck, and has a very similar design to Optimus. The Autobots are unsure if it's Optimus or not, but begin treating him like Optimus. He begins to slowly become greedy with power. And then, Optimus returns. And there's now an Autobot civil war, half of them under Landfill, unaware of his true identity, half of them under Optimus. But once Optimus has won, Optimus vows to help Landfill get his memories back. And eventually, he does, and becomes a loyal soldier under Optimus. Like, there's so much you can do. Like, here's a whole other page of characters. Like, I have so many pages just filled with just different characters who could so easily, given the right storylines, like, make out some of the greatest like Transformers ever. Like, this next section is like alphabetical, I think. But yeah, you got characters like Chuffer, This one I know for certain more the characters. Chameleon, the gladiatorial Autobot, potentially an early friend for an early rival for Megatron. This Autobot who's decided to go down to the gladiatorial rings and fight the Decepticons. He's the lead, say he's like the head gladiator. And then all of a sudden, Megatron finally overthrows Chameleon. Chameleon offer the hand, saying fair game or something. And Megatron goes, I'm done playing your games. And blasts his head off or something like that. Such storylines are possible. Here's the original Crosscut. I did mention I'd show him earlier on. But yeah, a Decepticon who's widely forgotten about, but I think is really cool. And I personally would love to see Crosscut maybe in a Decepticon Seeker, like Bitstream for example, get destroyed in a series and have to be merged together, both of them alive. Now you've got a fun story arc potentially of two characters battling for control over one body. Not sure which identity is the real identity anymore. Kind of a mismatch, kind of lost. Potentially you could do Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, have both their red and yellow variants, and potentially do it as the red variants of them are now all of a sudden the red variant of Bumblebee is an upgrade. Bumblebee has been destroyed in battle and he got fixed up into his red variant, which is reinforced. And then have Cliffjumper do the inverse. He goes from his red variant to being an upgraded yellow. Just so many storylines. I want to get to some of my favourites here quickly. The Hound. Hound, I just feel can be used in so many things. He's amazing. Hound is one of my favourite Autobots. He is one of the few ones I have toys of. I have had toys of Hound and Sunrunner. That's it. Two characters, Hound and Sunrunner. But yeah, he's such a fun character who put him out there. I think Hound should get they should do a series where Hound leads the Wreckers, I think. And potentially, where is he? Oh yeah, Optimus Prime. I think Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are heavily utilised. And I think maybe find other characters to take their roles for a little while. Give us a good 5-10 years where Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee are barely utilised. Give these smaller characters like Octus a chance. Maybe not Octus. Octus is barely remembered by anyone. Octus is not that big. Neither is Lee Jonas, but they're both really cool. But I think they should do a storyline where they bring out Matuk, this cowardly Autobot, and have over the course of this story, have him slowly develop over maybe 2-3 volumes of a comic, slowly develop from being this cowardly bot to slowly gaining his confidence and becoming this powerful wrecker, able to fight along, do a Wreckers series and have Matuk be someone they have to save in the first, episode or issue or whatever, and have him slowly, as the Wreckers are losing members, and they're finally, on their last leg, they've got, 2-3 members left, they're going to be wiped out. Have Matuk finally get this moment of just, you see Matuk running away, and then them talking about how they probably, in their final moments, going, we shouldn't have saved him. We could have still had so on and so forth alive if it wasn't for him. Just for him to then show back up, now with some minor upgrades, and just save them. In my example here, I've got him as a sniper with reinforced stance, so he's harder to be knocked over. And maybe a power pad and rise, stuff to make him able to see better. The sniper on his back, just a bit of an upgrade on torso because he's not very detailed initially. But still, it's just an idea. There's so much you can do with the characters. I think out of every character though, some of the ones I think need the most new things done with them is there was a team of Decepticons in where is it? There was a team of Decepticons in the Marvel UK from G1. I'm trying to find one of the member that I had the best drawing of. Smeltdown. Yeah. He was amongst a team of, they were Decepticons or factionless or whatever. But it was this team that appeared for one issue. but they're full of like cool concepts of characters who, given the chance, I think could fully be like, you give a full series to them, you have an amazing series. But Smeltdown, for example, with all his fire-based powers, maybe change his torso to be a furnace like I've done in this drawing because I couldn't get the best photos of him. But still, like, throw him in. Have him be like this incendiary specialist. I know it's like not too dissimilar to the DJD, but this like group could just be thrown out there. It's unique. It's out there. It's got characters like Rotgut, Warhead, just to name a few. Like, throw them out there. Give them the chance. But whilst you're at it, also give shots back to characters who used to be big but are now gone, like Sunstreaker and Trailbreaker. I think I can find Trailbreaker in a second. But yeah, Sunstreaker hasn't been used in years, really. When his brother Sideswipe is like in everything. Or is it Trailbreaker? He really hasn't been used since G1. Yet in G1, he's like everywhere. He's amazing. Honestly, there's so many forgotten characters. Magnus, another one. Like, and then Zaron. He's one definitely should be used again. Like the leader of all the Autobots. Like full stop in like G1, from what I understand. At least he's the leader on Cybertron. I don't know if Optimus would still lead over him, but still, he is like such a cool character. He briefly appeared in IDW. That was the last he really did. I mean, he's got a toy recently. Zaron needs so much more. He is such a cool character just to be... Sideline him again. But that's the thing. There are so many characters who could be used, yet they're not being. And it's kind of a shame. I'm just going to end on Trailbreaker because I really like my drawing of Trailbreaker. Took me about 10 minutes to draw Trailbreaker. All the others, you might be able to tell, took me closer to 2 or 5 minutes. I don't know how. I think Tracks might have taken a while, but most of the others took me like 2 to 5 minutes. They're not too long. But Trailbreaker I spent the longest on. I know that for a fact. But still, Transformers is not a dying franchise. It's losing faith of some of its fans. Yet it's holding on to so many because there's so many loyal fans and there's so many stories still easily able to be told. So many characters forgotten to time. Like, tell me the last time you heard of Trachus or Tornado or Twin Twist. I realise that's an insult to Twin Twist, comparing him to Tornado and Trachus. Tornado and Trachus are really minor. Twin Twist is actually a fairly big character. I'm sorry to Twin Twist with that, just disrespect on him. But come on, you have to be fair though. Characters are just being forgotten left, right and centre. Instead of bringing in the new characters, for a moment they just need to consolidate, bring stories to the lesser utilised characters. That's what will save Transformers, I feel. You reuse some of the forgotten characters. Sure, bring in new characters. Bring in fully redesigns or complete new characterizations and designs just for old characters. Do something like that. But yeah, this has just been me ranting while showing you some of my drawings. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've been Raptor Monster, and this has been another Transformers video, which seems to, if you see some of the shorts I've got up and coming, seems to have just randomly become a trend for me. I might actually record you guys some actual of the comics like I did with the Star Wars ones the other day, before the hospital thing and all that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I've been Raptor Monster, this has been another video, and adios!